Hey Vegeta, what's up with not learning that Kaioken there? Hey guys, MasakoX here. Now today's topic was suggested by Tyler Lawson on Twitter, and it really got me thinking, thanks Tyler, why didn't Vegeta ever learn the Kaioken? The very move that caused him so much grief in the early battles of Dragon Ball Z. So let's take a step back and consider what's being asked here. About Vegeta, arguably the second strongest fighter in the Z Warriors. I mean, it could be debated that in terms of raw strength, he actually has Goku beat, and honestly, in the Goku Black arc, he really did show signs of being stronger than Goku and having surpassed him, because that fight between him and Goku Black, whoa, that was awesome! Episode 63 will be a very good example in the case against Vegeta being only the second strongest. You might be able to say that in the Super Saiyan Blue and base forms, Vegeta does have Goku beat, but it's not been proven in a one-on-one duel as of yet. We've had some snippets of them training together, but that's all we've had. However, where Goku does have the upper hand still is with the Kaioken. That one move that saved his bacon in the Saiyan saga. It proved crucial in their first battle. The Kaioken ×4 Kamehameha versus the Gallic Gun, both their strongest techniques, in a dual-locked battle right there, one of the most iconic shots in anime history? Yeah, it's important. It was the turning point of that battle. Yeah, Vegeta had his great ape form that kept him in the battle for a little longer, but he ultimately succumbed to Goku's strength. Also, he was kinda lucky to escape because Goku wanted to fight him again later, so there's that chestnut. In time, namely after the introduction of the Super Saiyan transformation, the Kaioken technique sort of fell off into the background. It was kind of redundant. Why use that really dangerous move when you've got a Super Saiyan form which is much more stable in the long run and consumes far less power and is much less strain on the body? Also, it was incompatible with Super Saiyan because, you know, Super Saiyan's all about anger, rage, being frustrated. It may not show that in later episodes, but at the time, it's all achieved via rage. The Kaioken is all about concentration, and if you can't concentrate because you're having a bit of a tizzy about someone killing your best friend, then it ain't gonna work. You will be lucky to stay alive. I go into more detail about the Kaioken technique in my own special video. I'll include a link in the description so you can watch it at your leisure after this video. As a result, it really wouldn't have been much of Vegeta's concern to even bother learning the Kaioken. It was unnecessary. It wasn't going to be used in battle again. Why do that when you've got ever-increasing Super Saiyan numbers, and then you've got colours, and then probably shape, so we might have Super Saiyan Triangle in a later arc of Super. In Vegeta's mind, if it doesn't help Super Saiyan, then it's ultimately worthless. However, with the advent of Dragon Ball Super, many old facets of Dragon Ball came back into the limelight, including the Kaioken. When it was reintroduced in the Universe 6 arc, we Dragon Ball fans lost our collective minds. We didn't see that coming. What the? Super Saiyan Blue can handle the Kaioken? What? Holy moly! But that's all down to how Super Saiyan Blue works. It's all about containing excess ki, which is spewed out in Super Saiyan transformations of old. Instead of letting that go to waste, bring it back inside of you and use it for your own benefit. I again go into the form in detail in my own special video on the topic, link in the description again. It's also important to remain calm while you're in Super Saiyan Blue if you wish to achieve the Kaioken whilst in that form. And if you're able to do so, then you can use the Kaioken up to a multiplier of ×10, so it seems, with various side effects which might be somewhat debilitating, although that would improve over time. When Vegeta first saw this on the actual tournament stage, he was aghast. He was frustrated that Goku hadn't shared that with him, but he admitted to himself that once again, Kakarot had outstepped him. Looking back on this, it really brings two questions to mind. Why hadn't Vegeta bothered to ask Goku about the Kaioken either before or after the Universe 6 arc? They've been fighting or training with each other for years. They know the ins and outs of their styles, their techniques, their moves, how they fight. You think that they would want to know all about what they are. Also, you'd think that Goku would wish to share one of his greatest aces in the hole with his best bud Jeets. When Tyler put this suggestion towards me, he actually brought up the whole fact that Vegeta knows about the Kaioken, he knows what it can do, its side effects, the dangers, the ramifications. He's fully aware of the risks that this technique takes, so why wouldn't he choose to do it? It makes total sense that it would be open to him. He's strong enough to do it, as Tyler says, and, you know, in those ways, I agree. Especially in Dragon Ball Super, he is plenty strong. So why doesn't he do it then? Well, for a lot of reasons actually. First off, as we all know, Vegeta has a ton of pride. He is one of the most proud anime characters of all time, and to think that he would rely on such a low-class warrior like Kakarot is beyond his own logic, it's beyond belief. Not even if he has a remarkable move in his arsenal. Just no. As if a prince would relent and bow to a lower subject's technique. Rely on a commoner? I don't think so. He'd prefer to come up with his own technique or perfect what he already knows. It's similar as to why Vegeta, in the main timeline of course, has never bothered to demonstrate the Super Saiyan 3 transformation. Vegeta is a shrewd and intelligent fighter, and we see this so many times. So he would know about the weaknesses and the somewhat benefits of Super Saiyan 3 and choose not to use it. Vegeta may be a prince, but he's not an airhead. He knows what works and what doesn't, and Super Saiyan 3 doesn't work for him. To him, Super Saiyan 3 is worthless, and he'd rather stick to Super Saiyan 2 and perfecting it to a level where he doesn't even need to think about Super Saiyan 3, ever. We have actually seen that demonstrated when Trunks came back from the future in the Goku Black arc to fight Goku. He was in his Super Saiyan 2 form, and Goku was in Super Saiyan 3. And either due to a combination of Trunks being really strong or Goku not really training in that form, Trunks was able to actually beat Goku, or at least demonstrate that he actually had the upper hand. Point proven. Having said that though, Vegeta does know when a battle is unconquerable, so he knows when the jig is up. In some cases through tears. I'm looking at you, Namek Saga. Would he really want Goku to have such an unfair advantage over him? Would he really let such a glorious technique such as the Kaioken, with its huge power increase in such a short space of time, go to waste? Would he not want to learn it or at least understand it? Pride be damned! He could learn the Kaioken and master it even better than Kakarot! Kaioken times 10 in Super Saiyan Blue, Vegeta could go for Kaioken times 20, times 100, times 200, times over that one number! All without any side effects whatsoever, because he's Vegeta, the Prince of all Saiyans, yeah. He could be the strongest Saiyan in the known universes. With that power at his fingertips, he could use that however he wanted. He could train Kaba with it. He could train Trunks with it, and make his family lineage and his true disciple, the Prince of the Saiyans of Universe 6, all really strong and bring pride to the Saiyan race. He could do that. But then again, would Vegeta really want to do all that these days? He's not the same Saiyan warrior that we saw in the Saiyan saga. He is a totally different man. Again, why I think this, link in description, yo. He has mellowed out and embraced his new life. He is a much more relaxed fellow. He doesn't fight only for his pride, but for his family and the planet he now calls home. He's gotten revenge, somewhat, against Frieza and his people. He can keep up with Kakarot, and sometimes surpass him in certain circumstances. And he has a meaningful life. He has a lot more autonomy in his desires and goals now. He doesn't have to just rely on pride alone. He can do whatever he wants. I mean, pride's still a big part of his persona, sure, but it's not the thing that ultimately dominates it. There's a mixture in there now. Okay, so let's just say for argument's sake that Vegeta did learn the Kaioken. How would he go about it? Ask Kakarot to teach him? Demand it? Go to King Kai and ask him personally? Vegeta's not one to ask for help in such matters, but it would make for a funny scene in Super. And Super's comedy scenes have actually been pretty good. Or would it be better for us to see it as a surprise like we did with Super Saiyan Blue times 10 Kaioken with Goku? Would it be good to just have it come out of the blue somewhere, no pun intended? That was pretty awesome, I will give you that. Might we see Goku and Vegeta perform a times 10 Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken together, actually demonstrating that they can finally work together, that Whis has wanted for oh so long? The ultimate symbolic gesture of friendship. I would really be curious to see that. But in the end though, I personally think that Vegeta will not learn the Kaioken in Dragon Ball Super. When all is said and done, it comes down to Vegeta as a character. If you look back at some of his greatest achievements, he has managed to do them on his own. Super Saiyan 1 and 2, he did that on his own. Super Saiyan Blue, he did that on his own. He didn't need a ritual like Goku did. He managed to access God Ki all by himself. When Goku needed help with such things, Vegeta achieved the same thing, if not more, and faster, in perfect solitude. That's how adept he is at fighting. Why would he need to change his training style now? Why fix something that isn't broken? It works for him, so just keep doing more of that then. He can better himself to a point where he doesn't even need to contemplate about such things as asking for help or learning the Kaioken. He doesn't need to bother with that. It makes for a good discussion though. Thank you, Tyler. So what do you guys think? Do you think Vegeta will learn the Kaioken in Super? Do you think he has something else in mind? Leave a comment below and let's get this discussion going. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Until the next one, be sure to like and subscribe. And until then, catch you later.